Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today, two of the only three players in the history of Age of Empires to hit the 2900 elo mark are about to duke it out with one another, as Heart, playing as the Cumans in red, gets ready to have some fun with Hera, playing as the Malians in blue. Now all the players heard their herdables, explore their explorables, and try to get their butts up the Feudal Age ASAP. Not a bad opportunity for us to take a look at the Civ matchup that we are going to be watching today. The Cumans, an incredibly fast civilization, the Feudal Age Furies, to start with. All of their mounted units get progressively faster as the game goes on, all the way up to 15% faster than normal in Imperial, and this speed boost does help them better maneuver their unique unit, the Kipchak. This is a mounted archer unit that fires multiple arrows, although, as usual, only the first one does full damage. Now, speaking of speed and fast, some human mounted units, I'm looking at their Step Lancer line, their cavalry archer line, and their scout unit line, meaning all the way up to hussars, they can be upgraded to train in half the time. Now, if you want to put some fast early game pressure on your opponent, destroy some of their weak infrastructure, their vulnerable settlement, the Cumans are the only civilization in the game that can build a siege workshop in the Feudal Age, although they are limited to building only rams. If instead you prefer to pressure your opponent with ranged or mounted units, well, human archery ranges and stables both come in at a nice healthy discount, costing only 100 wood each, so you can plop down a few more extra ones and start getting units out more that way. Now, if instead you're a lover, not a fighter, you want to build your economy, you want to play with the lemon bushes, the butterflies, the sheep, and all of that kind of good stuff, you want to focus on your economy first, well, the Cumans, in addition to being the only civ that can build a siege workshop in the Feudal Age, they're the only civ that can build a town center in the Feudal Age. Although remember, doing this does take a lot of time, pulls villagers off the production line, and basically hurts you in the very short term. Now, to protect your booming economy, the Cumans, like the Goths, don't actually get any stone walls, although unlike the Goths, their palisade walls and palisade gates do come with a third more HP. Now, who might want to tear down some Cuman palisades and gates? Let's look no further than the right side of the map, where we've got Hera playing as the Malians in blue, a civilization classified as quote-unquote infantry, but that really only tells half the story. Sure, any unit trained out of a Malian barracks does get extra pierce armor for free, starting in Feudal Age, +1, all the way up to +3 free pierce armor. That's a tongue twister. That's a hard thing to say. In Imperial, which against a civilization that has a few cool cavalry archer options, may not be a bad thing at all. And their unique unit is the Gebeto. We saw that unit recently taking on some Teutonic Knights. If you haven't seen the game with Survivalist and Prodan, definitely check it out a few days ago. In any event, the Gebeto, a quick infantry unit with a pretty strong ranged melee attack, but terrible HP and weak base armor of any kind. Beyond their infantry, this is where the Malians, in some respects, shine based on the meta and how pro players are using this civilization. Their cavalry can actually be upgraded to get a +5 massive attack boost, which is fantastic because even though they don't actually get hussars or paladins with this upgrade named Farimba, their cavaliers actually have a higher attack than paladins, and their light cavalry and their heavy camel riders are some of the most dangerous and strongest in the game. Now, if instead you say, you know what, I don't like infantry, I'm not really feeling cavalry today, I'm going to go the archer route. Well, as the Malian, you'll have plenty of wood to train your army, since all Malian buildings except for farms cost 15% less wood to build. Now, to help you train your military, get your army out there ASAP, Malian gold miners do drop off 10% more gold than normal. Their universities work 80% faster than normal, and their settlements are a little bit harder to raid, or rather could be a little bit harder to raid, because they can actually upgrade their town centers to fire 8 arrows when empty and up to 18 arrows when fully garrisoned, compared to the usual 10 arrows fired. I will repeat that: 8 arrows when empty and 18 when fully garrisoned. 18 arrows out of a town center is pretty darn redonkulous. Now let's take a look at the map, as it looks like Heart has already discovered where his opponent is. Hera hasn't really left the immediate vicinity of his base, although spawning in this location should kind of indicate that his opponent is somewhere here. We'll see which direction he goes. The attack path between the two players, full of forests, the usual standard relic in the center, and a good number of high ground for your units and structures and players to take to deal that extra damage, take less damage. And as Hera now moves straight beeline for our Malian pardon me, for our Cuman, who has hit Feudal Age, and there you go, immediately. 8 villagers. It seems to be the standard is 8 villagers. I really wonder why 8 instead of 7. When you have 8 villagers, technically, according to the equation, I know there's a lot of math nerds in Age of Empires, and I don't say that in any disparaging way. I'm a math nerd, tangentially a math nerd myself. If you have 8 villagers, it takes 45 seconds to build a TC. If you have 7, it takes only 5 extra seconds. So is it really worth it to use 8 villagers instead of 7? You only save 5 seconds, and you have a villager that for basically 50 seconds is not, or 45 seconds is not gathering any resources whatsoever. So I really am curious as to why players go 8 villagers instead of 7. Now, obviously, I know why not 6, 5, 4, 3, etc. The equation, if you're curious, in order to determine how long it takes to build anything in Age of Empires, it's 3 times the amount of time it takes to build. So, for example, a house takes 25 seconds. So 3 times 25 seconds, so 75, divided by 2 plus the number of villagers. So if you have 1 villager building a house, you have 75 over 3, which is 25. And there you go. Math lesson of the day. I bet when you sat down to watch this, you're probably sitting on the toilet right now. Some of you are eating lunch, so I do apologize for the potty humor. But I bet when you sat down to watch this matchup, you probably didn't think you were going to get a lecture in mathematics. Not that I'm in any way qualified to give one, but let's see here. 3 scouts are prowling. Their health is pretty darn good. Looks like they took 1 poke from a villager who does have loom. Ooh, careful. I'm surprised Hera didn't commit to that. I think he probably could have gotten that villager, but Hera not letting me really get into the resource locations because he is already pressing in. And I believe if he positions his scout over here in this corner, should be able to actually reach the villager. Should Heart, but no, Hera now moves his... Okay. A little cocky there. I was going to say moves his scouts forward to deter Heart from attacking, but name of the game right now for Hera is how do I punish this second town center, which he has seen going up. And I was going to try to go after this other villager. Nope, she goes into the TC. But oh, wait a second. Uh-oh, he finds a very exposed villager here. exposed to killing is what that villager was with the high ground. Actually gets the first kill of the game. Does a hero villager from our Cuman, the Cincinnatus villager. And now Hera moves in with ranged units. So this nook, which used to be a safe space for these villagers to get their berries, is safe no longer. And Hera evens up the kill count with a scout. He might actually... Oh, come on. Wrong call number 2 of the game. As his villagers continue running amok. These are the most bloodthirsty villagers I've ever seen in Age of Empires. They've gotten 3 kills. Wasn't a TC, wasn't a scout. It was 3 freaking villagers. But now he's a little bit under siege. Here is our Cuman. Although with 2 archers, Hera isn't exactly punishing this second town center build. And this is where I said in the beginning, building that second town center does set you back initially. Again, you pulled 8 villagers for 45 seconds. They were not gathering any resources. And then on top of that, your opponent in the meantime is building army, military, moving forward. Look at Hera is establishing himself here. He wants to press in. He wants to make an issue of this. He knows if he leaves Heart to just willy-nilly grow his economy, he's already down 11 villagers. That's going to be probably 30 or 40 in the next 15 minutes if he doesn't punish or try to punish. But Hera backs away. Oh my god, I'm gonna rush through this. Where the hell are the resources located? Primary gold, that's where he put his TC. Decent. Primary stone left off campus, so no castle for you. Although, pardon me, he is going after his secondary stone first. Interesting by Heart. Why not go after the one that's a little bit closer? I guess he must have seen that after he already walled off his stone. And where are his extra golds? Oh, Hera, you beast. Second gold, third gold, both lamed by our Malian. And so our Cuman, to be fair, I mean, having 7 patches of gold is not bad. By the time he finds those out, maybe he'll have enough military to push out. But right now, he's at a huge military deficit, 7-2, 7-3. But in terms of villagers, he's ahead 18. And again, Hera is not punishing this for all this cool infrastructure here. And not really much is being accomplished back home. His base, nice gold to the rear. primary stone, extra gold in the forward position, extra gold offside here to the right side, and extra stone off to the top left. Forest's not helpful. I mean, I don't know what the hell this started out as, but this is very thin. This is like a noodle of a forest here. Damn you, farm. Scout's going to discover that this is not exactly open, so not really much he can do. And our Cuman says, you know what, maybe I won't have the biggest army, but let me just start pumping something out. Something that won't cost gold, something that won't hinder my ability really that badly to go up to Castle Age. Something that can maybe take on your archers. And that something is Skirmisher and Hera. Okay, now he has an opportunity to really punish. Now is when the heavy hitters start coming out. Feudal Age, you can win a game in Feudal Age. We've seen players win a game in Feudal Age. But realistically, Castle Age is when your units start getting a little bit tankier, a little bit quicker, a little bit stronger. I sound like a Daft Punk song when I talk like that, but the old crossbow botkin combo. Not too sure why this scout's still alive. Somebody kill him. Come on, hero villagers. Hera managed to see that amongst all of these farmers, she had the lowest HP, and all it took was one whack of the sword to the back of the head, and that villager dies. Crossbowmen looked like they were trying to work away at these houses, but wow, what a fantastic get there from Hera, for Hera rather. So that's why you can't let your opponent just run willy-nilly inside your base, because he's going to be hovering his mouse over your units and seeing which ones actually have very little HP. And now he's punishing the south, the stone mining operation. Will he get a second villager? I mean, that villager's fighting back. These are the most heroic villagers I have ever seen in Age of Empires. They are fighting knights. They are fighting scouts. And that was an absolute boss move there out of Heart. Keeping that knight there pinned between those two towers. Skirmishers, a villager. But Heart is housed. He's getting his own siege workshop up. But for now, the only thing he can really train is, remember, battering rams, because he's still a minute and a half, rather a minute away from going up to Castle Age. And Hera is here. He's trying to punish the OGTC of our Cuman. And this is where the Cuman's lack of ability to really wall in with stone walls comes into play. Although, to be fair, how many pro players have we seen in early Castle Age ever wall in with stone walls? Is it really that big of a disadvantage in Castle Age? Okay, Hera evens up the kill count. He's got the only villager kills in the game. Town center is being repaired. Wood is being wasted. 4 seconds away from castle. And what will our Cuman do? I'm looking at the production line. Immediate mangonel. So, Art has created himself a little nook here, a little enclave. It's pretty adorable, actually. He has primary gold, secondary stone. And there it is. He bought 200 stone. He's getting up a castle, but why in the rear position? Maybe because Hera has such a massive army. If it was in the forward position, 4 mangonels, a horde of crossbowmen and knights would try to take it down. Hera's got to be careful. He's injuring his own units here. Ooh, mangonel has not popped out. Castle is up. How many villagers? Like 25 or so villagers. Heart, by the way, is ahead 23 villagers at the moment. What's inside of you? Knights soon to have bloodlines, and a Kipchak is coming in. Okay. Kipchaks are fantastic against any unit that has a good amount of pierce armor. So this 6 pierce armor, because the additional arrows they fire, they count as individual arrows, so they do a little bit more damage. Whereas if it was just a +3, for example, because I believe the Kipchak arrow does deal 3 damage. It's not as weak as the other additional arrow firing units, for example. Ooh. Let's see, though. Its range is absolutely shit, though. 6 range. That's about as good as it gets for the Kipchak, because the Cumans do not get bracer. Otherwise, that would just be way too unfair. Okay, so Hera has managed to knock 1 TC down to the earth. He's still down 23 villagers. Heart is housed, and he's going to be housed for a while as Hera continues to destroy his infrastructure. He's lost his skirmishers, but at this point, does he really give a shit about his skirmishers? Mangonels preemptively fire. They are very clumped, though. The Hera needs to be careful. This guy's gonna get clipped here. Heart does have a villager repairing, But with the castle going up, I dare say Heartt has pretty much secured himself here. Hera's got a lot of gold, but Heartt has a lot of everything in terms of villagers. Oh, be careful, be careful. Oh, okay, he thought maybe Hera would move forward, try to snipe him. Kill count, Hera has taken a massive lead, 15-7, including 5 villagers, by the way. Oh no, and Hera doesn't notice. Loses his mangonel. Will he lose another one? No, he's going after the crossbowmen, but they survived. That attack must have hit right between them. If they were a little bit more clumped, they would have probably more of them would have died, and more HP would have been reduced from those survivors. Hera's brought a monk because, of course, it's Hera. He loves to babysit. So what exactly has he built here in the forward position? Monastery, siege workshop, archery range, and a supporting market and a blacksmith, because why the hell not? Bye-bye mangonel. No, he dodges it. Dodges it again, but he's getting clipped a bunch. Speaking of getting clipped, these crossbowmen will get it right before the villager makes it to repair. But again, he has not done critical damage. The funny thing is right now is that our Malian is actually on 3 town centers, 1, 2, 3, and our Cuman has been knocked down to 1, just now building a second. So Hera has an opportunity. He was down 23 villagers. Now he's down 16, 15. Okay, maybe 16 again. Yeah, okay. 16. Pardon me. But, oh, 4th town center. And against the unit like a Kipchak that maxes out at a 6 range, I don't think even if you go to elite that the range improves. I don't think so. This is where Tigui, the upgrade that makes the town centers fire 8 arrows when ungarrisoned, this is where it really comes into play. Because this unit cannot reach the town center without the town center attacking back. Hera tries to wall this in. All it does is cost him another villager and another one and another one and another one. Ouch. All of a sudden, Heartt 8 villager kills in the blink of an eye, and Hera brings his army back, abandoning the center position here. At least put up an outpost or two to see when your opponent is going to try to attack into this. No, he's bringing a relic to the forward monastery. Okay. I mean, you're the Malians. Your monasteries are cheaper. So this is where I think Tigui, just like in the game that I was mentioning earlier with Prodan and Survivalist, when you're fighting the Teutonic Knight, for example, Tigui is such a powerful upgrade. Oh, a little bit too late is this Palisade Gate. This one not, though. Oh my god, so much happening. The furious clicking, and this is it. The center position here for Hera, the proxy position. Hey, get the hell off the construction site, you dumbass. I feel like the father from that 70s show that just calls everyone a dumbass. Yeah. So, 1 relic at least is going to get denied. And here we go. Crossbows do come with 7 range to the 6 of the Kipchak, and they're kind of sandwiching this red army in, but the Cuman does have mobility. Man, oh man, does the Cuman have the mobility here. That being said, Hera plus Hussar equals crazy bonkers games, and Hera plus light cavalry with Farimba should equal an even more bonkers game. Okay, so he's not super duper ready to play purely defensive, is our Malian. He's going elite skirmishers, probably to play defensive, but this is not a defensive. Let's call it a defensive-ish castle. At least it protects some of extra gold. Did Hera mine any gold at all while he had this area under occupation? He did not. And now we've got 92 villagers to 78. So Hera, again, down 15 villagers. Oh my goodness. He was down 13. Now he's down 15. And then 16, 17, 18. I love it when the players just tear into one another. Relic down, and Heartt, pardon me, says, "Hey Hera, thanks so much for gathering that relic for me. I mean, that's really nice of you." Come on, Tigui, you got to get that upgrade. These Kipchaks will not be able to engage into here. 6 plus 0 should be the same as 4 plus 2. But if the crossbows can catch up, again, their range is much better. So they should be able to snipe these. So let's see what our... Actually, both players are going up to Imperial seconds apart. Hera with about 1 billion more town centers. There's racked up almost 10 minutes of TC idle time. Ooh, careful. Careful, Mr. Malian. Hey, Red might want to fire one of these days. No, he just loses his units because Hera's on the high ground. He's so unconcerned about these mangonels that he's firing on the Kipchaks. What a missed opportunity here by Heart. Loses Kipchaks, loses mangonels. Maybe he was on the other side of the map microing over here. Another villager dies. 17 villager kills to 6. Not too sure why he thinks attacking a house with a Kipchak is the most cost-effective thing to do at the moment. Send them to the other side of the map. Keep raiding. But now skirmishers moving in. +2 attack in range as well. Remember, they come with 2 bonuses against this Kipchak, which has both archer and cavalry archer armor. Oh no, Hera is just... I mean, his villagers are in the wrong place at the wrong time all the time. Bye-bye outpost. No more eyeballs for you. Oh, look at this. A spearman has gone completely undetected for yours truly. So a relic from the Dark Age, or that's a very poetic but incorrect. A relic from the Feudal Age is hacking and hewing away at that one outpost. Has he seen the other one? He has not. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we are both now in Imperial. Let's see exactly what the name of the game here. Chemistry, skirmishers, and a Treb for Hera. I'm assuming a Treb out of the one and only castle he's got. And the name of the game for the Cuman, light cavalry, Parthian tactics, and cavalry melee armor. Why is he getting melee armor for his cavalry? Is it for the one knight that he's got? Okay. Kipchaks look like they're having fun smelling these berry bushes. Elite Kipchak on the way. Hera does have what I believe is the high ground here. Again, actually, maybe not. This castle's on high ground too. Maybe you should have set up shop here, our Malian. But we've got a face-off, which is probably not what the Cuman wanted. This is not a unit that is supposed to stand still and idle and grow fat. This is a unit that is supposed to be running around. Top knot, baldness flowing in the wind. Look at them go. Look at the dust. They are dragging up into the air as they now move forward to attack even more villagers. 2 more dead. Oh my goodness. Still no Tigui. I mean, I'm gonna keep looking. This is gonna be like the game we saw with Survivalists, where I just keep saying the word Tigui, Tigui, Tigui ad nauseum. What is happening here? Okay, if you were a Frankish knight, you'd see a little bit more, but maybe Hera forgot that he has a knight here altogether, as he continues losing more and more villagers. That being said, he is still in triple digits, so not the end of the world. Blue Treb has moved back to make way for blue bombard cannon. Sometimes me speak like Cookie Monster. Will he lose any Kipchak here? 1 or 2 more volleys. Okay, doesn't lose any Kipchaks. Sees the TC, doesn't see that it's complete, and here we go. Yeah, the TC definitely sees him. Bye knight who doesn't even fight back. Pacifist knight has seen enough of war. And now, even though they outrange them, the crossbows are in trouble because the Kipchaks are just firing hell on them. But wait a second, they're kind of sandwiched here between... Okay, to lose 1 unit. That is a testament to our Cumans micro. By the way, a testament to having not cleared up this infrastructure. Just send 1 ram. Hussars are on the way as well, but housed is our heart. Hussars, heart, housed, Hera. My goodness. Speaking of Sesame Street, today's matchup is brought to you by the letter H. Like heavy camel rider. I didn't mean to go that heavy on the H. That was a bit raspy there even for me. More death, more villager kills, 32 villager kills. Look, Hera is keeping up. He's down 7 vills. The problem is when you're training and you're moving into camels, although he does only have one camel. I'm assuming with heavy camel rider, he's going to get more than one camel. When you need to start paying for your upgrades, food 650. He got Tigawee. He got Tigawee. Congratulations. You need food. And when you're constantly replenishing your villager count because your villagers have been just being wrecked by your opponent, your food stores are being depleted. Kipchak so far, by the way, despite the fact that they're half dead, despite the fact that they're on the wrong side of the map, they have done an amazing job. 25 kills, 17 of those are villagers. Northern Castle is under attack. Again, I am struggling to see whether or not these trebs are on the high ground. And did I just see steppe husbandry? Okay. So a whole bunch of units are going to be trained a whole bunch faster. Like I mentioned, scout line units, these guys, cavalry archers, and steppe lancers. Now, what I'm a little bit surprised here. First of all, I'm surprised he got Tigawee. I thought I would get to complain about it all game long. And complain, man, oh man, do I love complaining. I'm just kidding. You know what I'm a little bit surprised at? You know what we've seen? What unit does fantastic against cavalry archers that the Malians have? What unit have we seen that the Viper has used to amazing effect as the Malians against cavalry archers? I am referring to their unique unit, the Gabeto. It is lightning fast. It moves lightning fast. Has the same range, I believe, of 6, but it does melee damage. And the Kipchak's melee armor is a lot shittier than its pierce armor. That being said, Hera is taking down slowly that castle. He is losing even more villagers. His castle, 53% completion, nowhere close. Oh yeah, let's see 18. And look at how many arrows they fire. We've got an attempt to get rid of the siege. One mangonel falls. Not sure that was that high priority of a target. One treb does fall as well. But Hera has set up his army perfectly. This is all literally an uphill battle for our Cuman. Our Cuman takes a bit of a smoke break after killing that bomber cannon. Now the heavy camel riders with Farimba. There it is. They are only missing iron casting right now, which will take their attack up to a 14 plus bonus damage. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Look at the numbers, by the way. Heart is down 3 villagers, which is ridiculous. They're both in the 130s. Both of their army counts are in the 60s. Like, I mean, we've got ourselves a game. 47 minutes in. Kill count's almost at 200 kills. Maybe not the highest for a 47-minute game, but so far, I have a sneaking suspicion that kill count is going to grow very nicely. The more these Cumans just keep kiting backwards, and the more stubborn Hera is throwing his cavalry units into this. Yep. By farm, another camel moves in, another camel bites the dust. 43 dead villager kills. By the way, Hera, since killing those 6, hasn't killed a single extra villager, but I bring the camera to us right as the castle collapses, right as these hussars move in. 6 total armor for them. And now he's going after it. I love that he's ignoring the mangonel. Absolutely love that he's ignoring the mangonel. If he can get rid of the crossbowmen, forget the skirmishers. It doesn't matter. They're all going to die. And Hart clears up this entire offensive force. Does cost him a castle, though. So for somebody who's relying on castles going Kipchak heavy, losing his castles is terrible, because now he's only got 2 castles left to train his unique unit. Looks like he's throwing more and more hussars into the meat grinder. Name of the game is kill as many villagers as you can, cripple the Malian economy as much as you can. But camel versus hussar, especially camel with Farimba, is not a fight that our Malian wants to, that our Cuman wants to take. Town center down. Oh yeah, he's noticing that Hera isn't GGing. He must say, you know what? You're still training a lot of villagers. So forget the castle. I don't see a Gabeto out of you. So I'm just going to go after the TC first. Brilliant strategic move, by the way, out of our Cuman. Because right now the way to hurt Hera... right now the way to hurt Hera is to kill his villagers and force a GG Heart. Our Cuman Absolutely epic. First of all, what a nice little hold here. Initially losing that second town center. Hera went up to 4, and he just expanded southwards. Like I said earlier, he carved himself a nice little nook, and Hera just failed to punish. We've seen this story told over and over and over again. It's like almost reaching legendary Age of Empires fairy tale status. If you don't punish the second Cuman town center, it punishes you. What's the famous, all these Yakov Smirnov jokes? In Russia, something. In Russia, you don't punish town center punish you, or I don't know what the all of his. It was usually one of those jokes like this doesn't this does that, kind of flipping the logic on its head. But again, we've seen it time and time again. You don't punish, you get shafted, you die, you GG, and that's exactly what happened in this case. Hart survives, Hart presses out, finally gets rid of all the infrastructure just in time to lose his own castle, but does clear up the army. And now look at Hera's base. He's shoved himself in. And as much as Tigui is fun, and as much as it means this structure itself is safe, this villager is not safe. This villager is not safe. These two are definitely not safe. This poor bastard's farming outside the settlement walls, so he's not safe at all. These are about to die. All of these villagers are going to die. These ones are maybe safe. You know, this might be the safest villager in the entire game. This one right here. Because I don't think the Kipchak can reach this villager from anywhere. All these other ones, these poor bastards, they're all going to die. There's no way that Hera can gather resources here without losing villagers. And believe me, he's going to dive bomb in. But again, 8 arrows when ungarrisoned. Look at that bracket 8 there. So freaking cool. And I'm so glad that we got to see that. I'm so glad we got to see them firing. I think this TC here had 11 villagers in it, and it still fired a stream, a machine gun, a Gatling gun stream of arrows. But what a fantastic hold. And for the second time in a week, we see the Bald Brigade, the Kipchak clump, just absolutely wreaking havoc. Look at this guy pulling out his 3 swords, 3 arrows. Wait a second. I thought they were elite. Elite fire 4 arrows. Hey, Age of Empires developers, you gotta update your graphics. When they go elite, you should be pulling out 4 arrows, right? The main one and 3 extras. Tisk, 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 says the caster jokingly. Please don't kill me. In any event, nonsense aside, what a fun game. Hart just saying, fine, you crushed me. I'm just going to go around the back and I'm just going to start killing villagers. And you're not going to go archer units because you're Malians. So your primary focus is probably going to be cavalry. If not cavalry, at least the infantry could have been good with +3 pierce armor. Would have been actually epic to see some infantry trying to catch up, because the Malian infantry line, if I'm not mistaken, they're not like super duper great without blast furnace, but they're not terrible, right? They do get squires. Yeah, okay. No gambesons, but you don't need gambesons. It's like the Cumans don't get husbandry. You don't really need it when you get that bonus. But really the attack, I guess you're safer, but you attack a little bit weaker anyway. We've seen games where the Malians go infantry. I guess it primarily protects them against buildings and structural defense, although the Kipchak definitely can kite all the livelong day. If he was kiting cavalry, he is definitely going to start kiting infantry. But in any event, that was not here, neither here nor there. 84 Kipchaks at the end of the day, 86 Hussars. Skirmishers, camels we saw come out towards the end. Crossbowmen kind of in the middle beginning. And skirmishers, didn't even bother upgrading them. PKPM right at the end of the game. PKPM forever. I mean, look at that APM right in the middle of the game. 270. Economically, yeah, look at the Cuman. Which is a little bit surprising because for a while, Hera did have 3 or 4 TCs to 1. Sorry, 3 TCs to 1. Or maybe 3 TCs to 1.5. The second one was almost done. Gold almost identical. Without that relic gold, our Cuman would have been a little bit more behind. Does get more stone, a little bit more food, and a lot of bit more wood. There's your Kipchak play. And so Hart doing what I think is, I mean, there were several brilliant moves here out of Hart. Number 1, targeting the town centers, knowing that you're crippling your opponent's economy, seeing no Gabetos, and already seeing Tigui and Farimba. You know this is a useless structure right now. It's not it doesn't serve any purpose at this point except defending these villagers, and you're not really attacking those villagers. So focus on the TCs, but more importantly, force Hera to spend food on training villagers. Harris ended the game with 116 vills. He lost 70. That's 3,500 food that could have gone towards camels, could have gone towards even skirmishers, as little food as they cost, etc., etc. And I think we saw some light cab out of him too. But wow, I mean, I think GL.Hera just played a fantastic game here. Total raisings double for our Cuman. No conversions whatsoever. I barely saw any monks on the field except out there gathering relics. And the total kill count ultimately is about 350. Okay, so almost double from where we saw it, or where I pointed out earlier. Hera did manage to kill an extra villager. Look at that, 70-7, literally 10 times more villager count. And again, GL.Hera hit him where it hurt, which is the food eco. He went after farmers. He did not go after lumberjacks. He did not go after stone miners. I don't think he even went after gold miners if he could. I think he focused primarily on the food. And look at that. What a maneuver. Farmlands completely destroyed, villagers unable to gather their resources safely, and GL.Hera just ends the game with a huge amount of resources in the bank so he can keep putting on the pressure for days. And Hera ultimately succumbs. His settlement breached, his army destroyed, his villagers running away into the safety of these amazing Tigui town centers, which unfortunately ultimately are not enough. And it is GL.Hera who takes the W, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.